Welcome to the RadioU podcast. Coming up, does China have better car dealerships than us?
Also, the Soviets' 53-year-old plan to end America has finally been revealed.
All that and more on the way next. We finally have a new pope. Actually, I don't know why I say finally. It took like a week. It did not.
What? It took like a day.
Yeah, we
Did they go in there on Wednesday?
Yeah, we weren't popeless for very long. 8772 Radio U. Congratulations, I suppose you would say, to Robert Francis Prevost, now known as Pope Leo the... Oh, I'm bad with Roman numerals.
That is the 14th.
14th.
Yep.
Pope Leo the 14th, the first ever American pope. We did it!
Woo!
Yeah! I like to think that we as Americans
we had everything to do with
can
this.
take credit for this in some way.
Yeah, absolutely not. But I will say I did look it up because I was like, I wonder how. I just wanted to know how popes chose their names. I was talking about it with my cousins.
I was wondering this. So I know that what I know is they choose the name that they choose because that's supposed to they want to it's supposed to be emblematic of what they want to do with their papacy.
Yes.
But I want you to finish. But my question is, when can you ever pick a new pope name? Or you have to go from the list, and when did they decide that? Because obviously there had to be some new pope names at one point in time.
Yeah, no, there's no criteria. You can choose whatever name you would like. The tradition is that it would come from a Catholic tradition or a former, papal name.
Yeah.
Or, a name of a pope. But people have chosen names from their family. Mm-hmm. They've chosen just names in Christian history or Catholic history, so they haven't been popes before. Uh-huh. And so, yeah, there's no criteria, but I think now the precedence is that you would pick a pope name, like a former pope's name. And I was surprised to see this. I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see this because the pope position has been around for so many years. But the last Leo, so Leo the 13th, he died in 1903.
Oh, so it's been a long time since we had a Leo.
Been a long time. But so now, Robert Francis Prevost or Provost or however you say his last name, he's now Pope Leo the 14th. So lots of Leos.
I was going to go back real quick and see who was the last pope to choose a brand new name, like a name that had not been chosen before.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're going back. I
guess it would just be whatever name doesn't have a number after it. It would be the first or something.
Well, Francis doesn't have a number after it, and that was the last pope. So
maybe he's Francis the First.
Was he the first do we just have to go back that far? It's not very far.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know a lot about this, but I feel like I saw so many people talking yesterday when the Pope was about to be announced and we got the white smoke. And everybody's just fascinated. This is just...
I'm not Catholic and I'm fascinated.
Yeah, if it's not your world, but we're all being drawn into it somehow. There's some kind of intrigue with it.
Well, I mean, he speaks with a lot of authority, certainly, even if you're not Catholic and you do not believe in the roles that the Pope plays. The Catholic Church believes he's essentially, he speaks with, very much a lot of authority. If you are Catholic, you believe that. And so, even if you're not, you still believe that, he's a very important person in the world. He
has a lot of influence.
And so, I still obviously respect, church history and Catholic tradition and all of those things. And so definitely was intrigued by what was going on and intrigued by the fact that it was the first American. I still kind of wanted it to be the guy from Africa, though.
Yeah, but it is cool that it's a guy from the U.S.
Yes.
Because now, I feel like we're going to understand him more. You know what I mean? He comes from our life.
He doesn't have to be translated from Italian to English.
Well, also, he's he's a Chicago sports fan. He's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's a White Sox fan. So,
there was a little bit of a dispute on this.
Yeah.
Because apparently, as soon as he was announced, people were already asking this. All right, he's from Chicago, so Cubs or White Sox. Who are you a fan of? And ABC reported that he was a Cubs fan. And then his brother had to go on the news and be like, no.
Yeah.
He is fully a White Sox fan. And then the Chicago Sun-Times, this is just crazy. This is how journalism works, friends. They dug up a photo of Pope Leo XIV at the 2005 World Series between the White Sox and the Astros.
Well done.
So there's your proof.
Well done. My favorite thing was Annie Agar tweeted out, Chicago got a Pope before they got a 4,000-yard passer.
Oh.
And by the way, I've scrolled all the way back. I could have missed some. It's very possible, but I don't think so. You have to go back to 1100, the year 1100. To
Before
find
there's
a pope,
a new one?
To find a pope that, didn't have a name with numbers after it.
That's crazy. So Francis did have numbers?
Excluding that, because I'm assuming he was new, and I also didn't see any other Francises between recently.
I think he was
1100.
new. I don't think I've ever heard of any other Pope Francis.
The last new pope name?
What was it?
Adalbert.
That sounds English.
And strangely, that hasn't been brought back either. There is only ever one. There can only be one. Allie, we had an issue yesterday.
We certainly did.
We had a big problem. I was sitting in my office here working, trying to get stuff done, and constant honking I could hear. And for a moment, I was concerned that it was my vehicle because sometimes the alarm button on my keys gets pressed.
Yeah.
But this was so loud and I parked further away, so I was like, it can't be me. But then I look up at our security cameras, and it was our RadioU Jeep, our pretty much brand new RadioU Jeep.
Yeah, new from last year, 2024 Jeep. And Nene and I were trying to load it up yesterday because we had an event last night, Disciple concert, which I went to. So much fun. But we were trying to load up our Jeep, and we were having an issue with our key fobs. We have 2 key fobs. Again, this is a new car, less than a year old. And we had 2 key fobs. We're trying to get it open. The car would not unlock. These key fobs were doing nothing.
Both of them would not open it.
Would not open it. And so if you know key fobs now, it's for the push button start, proximity, all of that fun stuff. But they still do have a key where you can unlock at least the front door. Well, even though you have a key that can unlock the first door, it did not switch off the alarm. So even though we were able to unlock the front door to get the car open, the alarm just goes off.
Yeah. Okay. So I was not involved in any of this. So you unlock it, right? Then you're supposed to, I think it goes off because the battery's dead. The battery of the key fob is dead. And anytime you use that emergency key, I think it sets off the alarm.
Yeah.
Right? So then what was the next step? Because I think you're supposed to touch the fob to the starter when you start it, and then it should turn off.
And it didn't work.
Oh my gosh.
We tried that, and it did not work.
Well, also, what are the odds of both key fob batteries dying at the same time?
Exactly. And so, I immediately thought, okay, the key fobs are dead. Both batteries are dead, which is crazy. It's less than a year old. So we're starting to wonder, maybe they're not dead. Maybe they're just disconnected somehow.
Okay.
Which, again, why we're both... How is it possible that both got disconnected?
Well, I guess that would be the car, not the fobs, right?
Yeah, potentially. But yeah, we have no idea what's wrong with it. But the fact that when you pressed it to the push button start,
that's supposed to reset it or whatever.
Right, and it wouldn't reset, it wouldn't turn the alarm off. It makes me think there's something other than the battery wrong.
Oh, if anybody I know somebody called the dealership and blah. I mean, what an inconvenience. What if this was one of our actual, like, what if this was my car or your car?
Or what
How would we live?
Or what if I was at the event?
Yeah, and it did this.
And how would I get home? So it would have just been awful. So I ended up taking my own car to the event. So I didn't have a fun RadioU car with me.
I know, the brand new one that looks so nice and everything.
Yeah, it's got a beautiful wrap on it. It would have been.
And you just had
sad.
your own car issues. You weren't guaranteed to get there and back.
Exactly. I know. Michael, our very own Michael, was like, "Are you sure you want to drive? Do you think your car can make it?" And I was like, "My car's. It'll be fine."
But you were like, "It's Disciple. I have to go."
Literally. It was a lot of fun, though.
But technology, man. What was so bad about just regular old keys?
That's what I was saying. I was like, even though you can get in the car, you can't turn it on.
Yeah.
Because these key fobs are useless right now.
Yeah. I have one new car that is with the fob, and then I have my Jeep that is
still a key.
It has a fob, but it has an actual key that you need to start it. And man, that seems to never break.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why did we move away from that? I still don't understand.
I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Florida better watch out, because Ohio is coming for for its crown.
Oh, we already know this.
Yeah,
Ohio's the Midwest Florida.
Only in Ohio. Florida can't compete with this. When is the last time you heard about Florida with a raccoon with a meth pipe in a car driving?
This feels like it should be added to the GTA 6 game.
Yeah, but that's Florida and this is Ohio.
Yeah.
Florida can't compete with this. 8772 Radio U. This was in Springfield Township in Ohio, where a vehicle was pulled over, and inside, once the officers were dealing with the people inside, but what they also found was a raccoon who apparently is named Chewy. Chewy the raccoon had a bag full of drug paraphernalia and drugs. And Chewy himself was actually holding a meth pipe. I believe the officer said he took the meth pipe out of Chewy's hands. And so he reached into the bag, Chewy did, and got another one.
Oh, yeah. Literally, the picture from the body cam is like you can see the officers holding a meth pipe. And then Chewy has another one in his hands and he's looking down at it.
He's like, hey, I needed that.
Like, I got my meth pipe.
And
oh, man.
It's funny how a raccoon can do anything and make it look cute, even hold a meth pipe.
Exactly. Why is this raccoon the cutest raccoon ever?
Because every raccoon is the cutest raccoon ever.
Kind of, yeah.
Even if it may have been mistreated and addicted to drugs by the people that were caring for it, if you can even call it that.
Yeah. Thankfully, they did say the raccoon is unharmed, so I don't think he hadn't
ingested
any meth, any drugs or anything like that. And it was a legally owned raccoon, which is a thing. It's a thing. You can legally own a raccoon.
Well, that's helpful information for me to know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the police said.
I don't have to keep hiding the one eye.
Oh. Well, yeah, the police said they checked up and made sure that the documentation and proper paperwork were there for Chewy to be owned as a pet. And
Isn't that?
It was.
Well, I mean, what would be... If he's not addicted to drugs and he's just a raccoon hanging out with these people, though, but they care for him.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be better if he if he had just happened upon that car so he can just go back to life? Because now, these people they had all a ton. There's body cam footage of this. They had a ton of drug stuff in their car.
Yeah.
So they're probably going away for a while.
Yeah.
Now who cares for the raccoon? It's not a wild raccoon. Where does it go?
I know. It's going to have to go to a local humane society or something.
Or maybe somebody can adopt it.
Are you suggesting that you might be the one?
I would love a raccoon for a pet.
You're going to drive over to Springfield Township?
Yeah, I don't know. I do, as much as raccoons are cute and I think they would be fun for a pet, they also seem so mischievous that I think I think it would just get into stuff.
That's what I've heard with raccoons, even as pets, that they still just they can't get rid of the mentality of I need to steal and store things, pack stuff away, food, whatever. And so they just end up, as they get older, just destroying your house.
Yeah, I don't know if I can handle that. But also, did you see the video though of the car that Chewy the raccoon with the meth pipe was in? How it had not actual windows. Yeah,
it was not a great looking car.
A wooden lattice that you would put to keep literally to keep raccoons from getting under your porch or something, and that's its back windows.
Yeah,
it
was messed up.
Only in Ohio.
Seriously,
Florida's got to watch out. In China, they now have something. Tell me if you're jealous of this. At 8772 Radio U, they have car dealership robot salesman. You could go to a car dealership in China and instead of having to deal with an actual person, you would be chatting with a robot, technically known as the iMoga robot. Is that better or worse than actually talking to a car salesman?
Listen here. Okay, so going and shopping for cars, I don't think really anyone enjoys that. Talking with car salesmen, I'm sorry if you're a car salesman listening, it can get a little frustrating, a little annoying.
Nobody, even if you're the best and nicest car salesman in the world and have the greatest heart.
Yeah.
We're all still uncomfortable.
It's still not great.
We all still, even if we get a great deal, feel like we're getting ripped off and there's something wrong.
Exactly.
No matter what you do. You can't fix it.
That's a great way to put it. And so, maybe talking to a robot would be better, but not if this robot is programmed to be just like that. In fact, I think that would make you feel worse because it's like, this is a robot I'm now arguing with about the price of a car.
I could see if you can't get the robot to budge on something, that would be even more frustrating than an actual person.
I'd be like, "Where's the shut off button of this thing?"
But at the same time, so I don't like the process of haggling at a car dealership.
No, it's not fun.
It makes me very uncomfortable. I don't want to have to do that. I wouldn't have a problem with doing that with a robot, though.
Okay.
The problem is, the robot, I guess you would know. At some point, the robot, that it's just, this is as low as it's allowed to go.
Yep.
And the car dealership guy can say that, and, do you believe him? Do you not?
Right.
And then you have to play this beautiful dance of a game of if you want to keep arguing. But with a robot, I don't know. I'm just not going to feel bad about continuing to press the robot. And so I'm actually kind of surprised that they would go in this direction of because I think people aren't going to have the same emotion when they're dealing with a robot. And so that will make them tougher negotiators.
Yeah.
When they're trying to get a deal.
Yeah, that's kind of true. You're not worried about hurting anyone's feelings or stepping on anyone's toes, all of that. But I don't know. I just feel like you just start to feel dumb and it would probably get a little cyclical because the robot probably only has so much stuff it can do and say. Eventually you would just get to a point where you're going to need to talk to a human anyways.
Yeah.
A robot can only do so much.
Yeah, press 0 for operator.
Yeah.
I guess, from the dealership perspective, maybe they're thinking, but we don't have to pay the robot commission. So that could be
You know what? That's probably why they want to go use this.
And then maybe that could get us a better deal because there's not a person taking a cut of it. I
love that you always want to say something like that where, we talked about Disney yesterday. Where it's like, oh, they're going to make less because they feel like they've overdone it with Marvel, which means our prices are going to go down.
Yeah.
No, Hudson, it's wishful thinking.
I think
they care more about their profits than they care about us. So why in the world would they lower the price for us if they're going to make more money?
To improve our experience. Because what's the best way to get a repeat customer? Giving them a good experience.
I mean, yeah, but I just don't think they're going to be suddenly giving you a great deal because they're using a robot.
The best deal. If you could, if you're the car dealership, the one car dealership in town with robot car salesman instead of actual car salesman, and it's cheaper because you don't have to give them a commission, then you can offer better prices in town and still be making money. And you could say, we have the best prices in town. Come talk to our robots. They won't make you uncomfortable. And think about how much of a sell that would be.
I mean, I know some people that would be uncomfortable talking to robots.
Yeah, I guess
so. I don't know if I would agree that it's they won't make you uncomfortable.
All of this conversation we've just had really ignores it in the United States and maybe in China too. We also have these things where apps now where you can just buy a car.
Yeah.
Without the haggling.
And just have it delivered straight to your door.
And shockingly, those seem to be really popular.
Oh, yeah. I wonder why.
Radio U, where music is going, 8772. Radio U, Hudson and Allie, and a special guest with us right now. We have Iris from Grace Haven. Now, we have an event coming up. We're going to be actually at, and Grace Haven is involved, called Over the Edge. People are going to be rappelling down the side of a pretty tall building. Nene is going to be doing that. So we're going to get Nene in here to talk about that in a moment. But first we need to find out the background of why even do Over the Edge? Why, what is it all for? And so Iris, you're here from Grace Haven, which is involved in Over the Edge. Explain, what is Grace Haven? What do you guys do?
Yeah, so Grace Haven is a nonprofit organization. We are faith-based, and we serve youth and families all throughout the state of Ohio. We work with youth who are vulnerable or at risk and those who have been trafficked. So part of our programming is that we do education to youth in schools about the realities associated with human trafficking. So that includes topics like grooming, trauma bonding, toxic relationships, healthy relationships. We have a residential group home for girls in Central Columbus who have been trafficked.
That's so awesome. Well, we know you have the Over the Edge event coming up, and we're going to talk more with you about that with Nene as well. But just tell us a little bit, give us a little snippet, a little preview teaser about what Over the Edge is, when it's happening, and kind of what the concept means for it.
Yeah, so Over the Edge is happening on June 13th, and this year happens to be 10 years of doing Over the Edge.
Wow.
Nice.
Over the Edge is basically you fundraise. If you fundraise $1,250, you get to rappel from a skyscraper downtown Columbus. It's a lot of fun. You know, I'll always tell people, like, if you're a thrill seeker or if you like adventure or if you know someone in your life who does, you know, this is a great event. But it's also a really great event with a really great cause because all of the proceeds go back into Grace Haven. But, you know, we've had people as young as like 12, 13 years old who have rappelled. We've had a lady in her 80s.
Oh, my.
Who rappelled.
That's awesome.
I think our most popular one was, there's two. One lady went over with her wheelchair one year.
No way.
That is so cool.
It made the news, so I'm not lying. You can Google it. And then a really special one was there was a survivor, one of our kiddos. Was it one of our kiddos? It might have been maybe not one of our youth, but I think it was a survivor. And she rappelled side by side with the police officer that had helped her.
Oh, wow.
When she had been trafficked. So, it's going over the edge is the scariest part. It's like literally putting your hands, like you're putting your life and hope and like, I hope they're doing their job and they did rope check and you're just like, you know, they're like, put your weight and just like relax. And it's like, no, like I am like 300
dangling
feet.
off the
I'm
side of a
dangling.
building currently.
But no, it is a lot of fun. And actually, that's how I got involved with Grace Haven.
Okay.
Because, you know, we encourage, even if you don't rappel, just come and stop by and like cheer us on.
Yeah.
We also have like other vendors there. So it's a really cool event.
That's awesome. Well, our very own Nene here is going to be a part of it. He is going over the edge. I think he's a little nervous about it, though. So we're going to get him in. Hopefully we can pump him up a little bit. We'll do that next on Radio U. Our very own Nene is about to go over the edge of a skyscraper, and we have Nene here. Now, Nene, it's all for a good cause. It's all for Grace Haven. Is it? And so we also have, I don't know if you were listening, Nene, but we have Iris here from Grace Haven. You can find out more about Grace Haven at gracehavenohio.org. But Nene, you're about to go over the edge of a skyscraper in a couple weeks. How are you feeling about it?
I don't want to talk about this at all. Do you see why I'm all covered in incognito right now? Because if I can hide my face, maybe I can hide from actually doing this too. Hi, Iris. How are you doing? Oh, my goodness. Okay, so listen. From what I heard before we actually turned these microphones on, you've done this before. So please walk me through what is it like to actually go over the edge?
So I've actually done it 4 times. It's a lot of fun. So the process might scare you a little bit because you have to, you know, sign a lot of paperwork and waivers that say, you know, in case.
Why would I have to sign a lot of paperwork? Is there something I need to be knowing? Is there something I should be worried about?
It's just logistics, you know, just making sure that you know that you are doing this on your own free will.
Oh, gee, did you get a lot of that? At your own free will, Hudson. At your own free... I can't do this, man. I can't do this.
I mean, you were just sharing how you went skydiving. I'm sure you had to sign a lot of paperwork to do that.
I did go skydiving. Like, that was fun. I never want to do that again. And to be honest with you, I'm really nervous about doing this for the first time.
But Nene, listen.
What?
You, first of all, volunteered to do this, like you said, on free will. And secondly, it's even when you skydived, that was just for you. This is actually for a good cause. This is over the edge to end child sex trafficking. That's what you're doing it for?
Can I be honest with you? I know that's supposed to make me feel better, but I'm still going to have to climb over the edge. Oh my goodness. Okay, so how long is the descent? Like, how long am I going to be suspended and hanging with my little legs kicking over the edge?
It depends. Maybe 10, 20 minutes. It really is at your own pace. So once you fill out the paperwork, you get fitted with all of your equipment.
Okay.
You get fitted. They triple, quadruple check even like throughout every single phase. Like once you get your things, your equipment, they make sure that you're strapped in. They do demos on how you're going to use your lever. You're going to have a walkie-talkie. Like people are going to be in your ear. They're going to like check in on you. And then once you get to the rooftop, it's kind of like the same thing where like they're double, triple checking your equipment.
Okay, good.
But one of the cool things that they always ask before you go over the edge is like, what is your purpose for doing it? Like, why do you want to do it? It's like, you know, when I did it initially, it was like, I'm a thrill seeker. I've always wanted to rappel, so this will be cool. But truly, like, what is your reason for wanting to, you know, contribute? You know, why you fundraised for this cause? And, you know, it is for the kids, you know, but it's also like for our communities, right? Because we can do adventurous things, but those adventurous things can also have like a lot of purpose and meaning. So even though, you know, people always want to like help the kids and how can I, you know, fundraise or can I donate my time? And it's like you're kind of doing both. You're fundraising and then you're also taking a time on Friday to go over the edge. And you know, it is really cool. It's a lot of fun. They do rope check every 15 minutes throughout the day.
Do they do the rope checks every 15 minutes as I'm going down too? Like, do they do that? Can we get a rope check as I'm actually doing the descent part?
You are the rope check at that point.
Okay, that's great. I love that. But do they do that too?
They check in on you. Like, if they see, like, okay, like, you know, repeller so-and-so hasn't really been moving. Are they okay? Like, they're going to get on the walkie-talkie and they're going to check in on you.
I'm sorry. I'm just going through it right now. That's all.
No, it's okay. It really is like you're literally putting it's like how we put our faith in the Lord of like, you know, you're going to provide for me. You're going to be here for me. You're going to, you know, your timing is always great. Like your word is true. You're kind of putting your faith and hope in, you know, the hands of the workers who do this event, you know, that the ones that are managing the equipment. And it's like, okay, I have to like have faith that once I put all my weight back into this, like within this position of being over the edge, that like they're gonna, you know, check on me, they're gonna have my back. But no, it really is an awesome thing to do. And even if you are scared to do it, once you've done it, you're gonna be like, I want to do it again.
I don't know, because after I jumped out of an airplane, I wasn't so hot on doing that one.
Yeah,
again.
but come on.
We'll see, though.
That was not for an amazing cause. I think you've convinced him. I think he's ready.
I don't know.
I think
I'm at the point now. Well, I'm convinced enough that I think I'll be okay all the way up until when I go over the edge. We'll see. You can get me strapped up and up to that point.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens after that.
It's still a few weeks away, but Nene, it's too late to back out now.
Is it really too late to back out?
If you want to find out more about how you can support Grace Haven, maybe even be a part of Over the Edge, gracehavenohio.org. Also, they actually have an event coming up tonight, a 10-year concert that's also something that you could be a part of and support Grace Haven in that way if you're in Radio U Ohio. So gracehavenohio.org, radiou.com/Ohio also has more details. Good luck, Nene. Iris, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Gosh, I
It's
need
Radio
so much
U.
help.
Get your popcorn ready. It's our Friday tradition, the weekend watch list, letting you know which movies are new that you could be watching in theaters or at home this weekend. I'm going to be honest. It's kind of a tough week for movies.
Okay.
You'd think, you know, Thunderbolts kicked off summer movie season last weekend.
Yeah.
You might have thought that, like, we'd have, you know, from here until the end of summer, we'd have good stuff. Not as much this weekend. Kind of slim pickings. Let's start with Clown in a Cornfield. Looking for a fresh start, Quinn and her father move to the quiet town of Kettle Springs. They soon learn the fractured community has fallen on hard times after losing a treasured factory to a fire. As the locals bicker amongst themselves and tensions boil over, a sinister, grinning clown emerges from the cornfields to cleanse the town of its burdens, one bloody victim at a time.
Oh, boy.
Clown in a Cornfield is now in theaters. It has an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It has an 81?
It does.
What?
And Mariana Neal of Impression Blend says, this may not be the best movie of the year or some groundbreaking horror, but I personally am just glad we're having fun with slashers again.
Okay, so a good slasher movie.
Just a fun, if you like that kind of thing, just a fun old time, apparently.
Slasher flicks work in the summer.
Yeah, I think this one, too, is, I saw headlines about it a bit ago, that it's like touring drive-in theaters, which would probably really be a fun way to see it.
Yeah.
If your drive-in actually, has like a screen strong enough to show things in the dark. So there's that. Other than that, like the next top movie, I guess, would be Nanas, starring Vince Vaughn. After losing his beloved mother, a man risks everything to honor her by opening an Italian restaurant with actual nanas, grandmothers, as the chefs.
Interesting.
Nanas is now on Netflix, 83% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not bad.
John Anderson of the Wall Street Journal says, one of those rare films a viewer can watch with mom
Aww.
or Nana.
Aw, yeah,
So-
it's perfect for Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, and who doesn't like Vince Vaughn?
Right, I love Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn, and he's risking everything in this movie, it says. So
Yeah.
that could be fun.
It could be.
Could be a fun Mother's Day watch, and it sounds like it'd make me hungry.
It sounds like it might make you cry.
It might, yeah, it could be a tearjerker.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's on Netflix. And then, the other stuff that's out this week that's a little interesting on streaming is actually more like shows. Poker Face Season 2 now on Peacock.
I have been thinking about starting this because I've been borrowing my sister-in-law's Peacock and I keep getting ads for it. And I'm like, this actually looks really good. Somehow I missed season 1 entirely of that show.
It came out like not too long after COVID, and I don't know, like it kind of got and Peacock was really new, and I don't know, but we were turned on to it, me and Mrs. Hudson, and Poker Face Season 1 is great.
Okay.
And then we watched the first episode of Season 2 already. There's 2 other episodes that are on at the moment if you want to stream the new season. Cynthia Erivo plays 5 roles in the first episode of Season 2.
What?
None of them sing. So
Okay.
you might be disappointed.
Well, no, I mean,
you
she's
want her
a
to
great
be
actress.
Elphaba.
No,
you're not getting that.
Elphaba, but she's a good actress. She doesn't always need to sing, Hudson.
Also out this weekend is Conan O'Brien Must Go Season 2 on Max. I love Conan, but I actually never finished the first season of Conan Must Go. Even though I liked the episodes I watched, I just never finished it.
Never got.
It wasn't a priority.
Yeah.
But that's there's that. There's some other stuff, just a bunch of random mishmash of things. So let us know what you watch, of course, at 8772 Radio U.
Yeah, I might need to watch a slasher flick.
Clown in a Cornfield.
It sounds like it's pretty good. I might
Yeah.
go see it.
You're going to have to, if you do, obviously report back if you make it out alive. We'll be interested. That's your weekend watch list. Let us know what you see at 8772 Radio U. Let us get your review, and we'll see you at the movies. I want your unfiltered, unapologetic thoughts on this. Something that I've started doing, and it's so random. But I found these pens around the Radio U studios like a week or something ago.
Okay.
I don't know why we have them, what they were made for. I feel like they might have been like a test batch of something from a long time ago.
Okay. Maybe a merch thing.
Yeah, where I don't know. But so they're pens on one end, and then the clicker on the other side is a stylus.
Oh, I've seen these before.
Yeah,
Not for us, but I've seen pens like these.
And I found these randomly here at the Radio U building in the office, and I was like, And so I started using it on my phone.
Yeah.
And now I don't use it all the time, but I've started using a stylus, this pen stylus on my phone. And some have made fun of me.
What?
Some are mocking me for using a stylus on my phone that's just a pen that, it's a small, it's like not a big phone or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's not serving a specific purpose of
You're just having fun.
I'm not making art or something on my phone. I'm just, instead of my thumb,
You're using a stylus.
I'm using a stylus. Is that a problem?
I'm okay okay with you doing that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People need to let you have your fun.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Why can't I have a stylus?
Yeah, you could definitely have a stylus. I remember my old phone. I used to have a Samsung Galaxy Note, and those came with stylus built in.
Yeah,
and you would like click
I had a
it
phone
up
like that too.
Yeah, you'd click it up, and then
I
would come
never
out.
used it.
I wouldn't use it too often, but it was nice because you could take it out and it had like a little remote thing, so it could take like remote pictures for you. Or if you've ever played one of those like Jackbox games, some of them are drawing games.
Oh, that would be a great use for this.
It was so perfect for that. Yeah.
I'm going to dominate the next time I play T-Fury in Jackbox.
Champed up. Let's go.
Yeah, so, okay. Okay, I'm glad that you're not judging me too much.
No, I think that's fine.
Yeah, and the real reason I've been using it,
Why?
I think why I've gravitated to it is because there's a lot of stuff you do on your phone, and it's a touch screen, but it's a screen, so you're looking at it while you're trying to do whatever you're doing with your hand.
Yeah.
But I have big thumbs, and so
They get in the way?
I can't see. Yeah, it's harder to see everything. I need to my thumbs take up too much of the screen when I'm typing and stuff, and so it's like the stylus is a little more, petite.
You might need a bigger phone, Hudson.
No, I don't think that, because it's still proportional,
I mean, sure.
I-
I've never run into that issue.
But you have probably normal thumbs, like normal
Are
lady
they normal thumbs?
and mine are big and fat, and so I think the stylus is just the way to go. Now, see, it started with you being supportive, and now I feel like you're kind of breaking me down. Yeah.
No, I'm not. It's not. I think go for the stylus and have fun with it, and don't let anybody bring you down.
Yeah. If anyone wants to play Jackbox, let me know.
You're ready.
Yeah, now I'm ready. I have an advantage. Are pet names really dead? As in, like, pet names for your partner, your romantic interest. I would say sweetie or honey, but apparently those are dead. We're not saying those anymore. According to a new survey from Coca-Cola, of all places, where they find that particularly with Gen Z, the younger you are, the less likely you are to use nicknames for your significant other, at least the classic significant other nicknames you would think of.
Yeah.
They actually have a list of of what they claim are the most outdated pet names.
Oh, no.
I'll be honest. I mean, some of these really are outdated because I've never heard them.
Yeah, there's a few on this list. I'm like, what?
Number one on the list of what they said of what this is according.
And we should mention this is from Great Britain.
Okay,
So that is a little different, I think, with some of the names. Maybe that's why we haven't heard of them.
That's why we've never heard anybody call their significant other Treacle before.
Is this Treacle? Treacle?
I don't even know how to say it. I looked it up, and it doesn't even come up as a pet name. It comes up as, like, basically it's the British word for molasses.
Oh, so like
Which would be
so you're sweet. Maybe that's why.
I think that's the thinking.
Maybe that's why.
But
Sweet as molasses.
nobody in the United States would ever be like, hey, molasses, give me a kiss.
Yeah, no, but we use sweetie or sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why that was a thing there.
It was, but even in the UK, they're like, no more.
No more.
No more.
No more treacles.
Number 2 on the list was chick. I cannot imagine calling Mrs. Hudson a chick in any context.
I also don't think I would approve of that being used because I feel like that's more almost derogatory.
It does sound a little diminutive.
Yeah.
A little, I don't know, it has a tinge of something to it.
Yeah, not to judge anybody if you do use that as a pet name,
but it should be noted, the Dixie Chicks changed their name and they kept the chick part.
Yeah.
So it can't be that bad.
The chick.
Sugar was number 3 on the list.
Okay.
There's literally like songs from the 60s where you would call your significant other sugar.
Isn't there a Maroon 5 song?
That's
Sugar!
right. That's more recent.
Yeah.
Better reference.
But yeah, Sugar Sugar by the Archies is very good.
Yeah. Would I call Mrs. Hudson? Would I ever say sugar to her?
I don't think I would ever be the person to use that.
Yeah.
Or have it used to me. I'd be like, nope, pick something else.
Hun was number 4 on the list. I know some people that definitely say hun.
My parents do.
But I don't know anybody like our age or younger that would say hun.
Yeah.
So that I guess that is outdated too. And then number 5 was muffin.
That sounds British.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and again, I don't know. Like that's way too over the top, too.
Yeah.
You know, like if you were calling each other muffin, that feels a lot. That feels like a lot. So are pet names dead, or are just these pet names dead? Like, do we have our own that are different?
I think we just have our own that are different. I mean, I don't think Babe is going anywhere because I still hear people use that all the time.
Yeah, I think
Babe and Baby and all of that.
Yeah, Baby. I feel like Baby will never leave.
No,
will never leave us.
I don't think those two are going anywhere.
But just because it sounds so good in a song.
Yeah, apparently.
Baby.
Apparently, the new ones that a lot of people are using are like Shoddy and Queen, Day One, King.
I don't feel like I feel like I wouldn't. That doesn't feel like me either, does it?
No.
Like me and Angela, I don't think. We would call each other that.
I think I'm just fully on the Babe train.
Yeah.
Because it works both ways.
Or like something particularly unique to you that like nobody else would use.
Yeah.
But, like something with the person's name or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but in public, I think I'd be fully on the Babe train because you can use it both ways. It's not gender specific. It's gender neutral.
Yep.
So I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're making advances. Time is marching on. We're progressing.
Yeah.
We're moving past treacle and chick.
Language is changing.
I think this is a good thing. On the menu today is the brand new Little Caesars Mountain Dew Mango Rush. You can only get this at Little Caesars. Look, you can tell if you're watching on the RadioU Mornings YouTube channel because it has Little Caesars all over the can. This is, you have to go to Little Caesars to get this. Otherwise, you will never taste it.
Yeah, this is a Little Caesars exclusive.
Yeah, for a limited time. I don't know how limited, but just went into Little Caesars earlier this week. I didn't realize it was going to come in a can.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a 2-liter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know. I don't go to Little Caesars very often.
I guess this is kind of, they said, a collectible can.
Yeah.
This is kind of more collectible with it being like the tall can.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a regular, what is the regular can? Is that 12 ounces?
Yeah, 12 ounces.
So this is more than that.
So all the other drinks at Little Caesars are in bottles, whether 2-liter or 20 ounce.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking they were going to give this in a cup. Like a fountain drink. They don't do that at Little Caesars, but that's what I was picturing.
Oh, you were picturing fountain drink.
Yeah.
No. Everything's to go there.
Also, we have their pepperoni pizza puffs because thinking about this, nobody would go to Little Caesars and just get a Mountain Dew Mango Rush, right? Like nobody would do that.
I don't think so.
You're getting a Mountain Dew because you're also getting pizza or something else. So I think it only makes sense to pair this with pizza.
Yeah, I think that's what Little Caesars and Mountain Dew is hoping for you to do.
Yeah.
They're hoping that you'll go spend more money.
There's the crack. So this is
ASMR.
Supposed to be Mountain Dew. It's Mountain Dew Mango Rush exclusively at Little Caesars. It's dew with a blast of natural and artificial mango sweet heat flavor. Does that mean it's a little spicy?
Yeah, I'm like, what does that mean? All right. You're going in for the first sip. I'll take a sip after you're ready.
Very fruity.
It smells really fruity.
I will
do the sniff test.
When they say sweet heat, though, I don't really taste. It's definitely not spicy.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I don't know what
kick.
I don't know what the heat they're talking about because I'm not picking up on that.
Hot, but there's a little bit of like a boom, a little. I don't even know how to describe it.
I don't think I'm tasting the boom that you're talking about.
My tongue is a little tingly.
I'm not getting a tingle.
I'm getting a little tingly.
No tingle, but maybe that's because I just haven't had any of the pizza to go with it. These little pepperoni.
You try the pepperoni puff thing, whatever it's called. I had no idea you were getting the puff thing. So, but like you said, it does make sense to kind of have. This exclusive Mountain Dew with pizza.
Okay.
It's meant to be with pizza.
I mean, that tastes fine. It's pizza. It's fresh.
Yeah.
Does it change the experience of the Mountain Dew? I don't know. I definitely like they say naturally and artificially. It tastes like Mountain Dew, but it does taste like mango. Like they actually tricked me into thinking that it tastes like a mango.
I think it has a mango flavor for sure. and smells like mango.
It's nice with pizza paired together. Like, it's a good combo.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's not the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I usually am not a Mountain Dew person. I usually don't go for Mountain Dew.
Okay.
So I'm probably already not the right person to be judging how good this is on a Mountain Dew scale.
Well, they're trying to win you over.
I don't know if this does that.
They said, all the other flavors of Mountain Dew, we haven't got you, but we're going to get you. This
With
is the
the
mango
mango
one.
rush.
This is the one that's going to do it, the sweet heat.
Well, I'm sorry, Mountain Dew, but I also just don't eat at Little Caesars that much. Because Little Caesars, it may taste all right when you first have it.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, I'm like, I am filled with regret.
The pizza puffs are halfway decent.
They're
like,
not
kind of
bad.
better than I expected.
They're not bad. I got a lot of what I feel like is like garlic or something.
Okay.
I can't even tell when I first took a bite. There was something that I was like, oh, that's strong. Maybe it was just the cheese. I don't know.
I mean, I think they pair well together.
Yeah.
I am not going to say, though, that I'm going to be anxious to go back to Little Caesars or even for just the Mountain Dew. I really don't think the Mango Rush is that much to write home about. It's fine. I would take it. It's really on the level of par of any other soda you could have at Little Caesars because it's just, it's soda. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's all right. And if you are, settling down, let's say you're watching the NBA playoffs, you're watching the NHL playoffs, you get a pizza, you are like, you know what, I want to be a little adventurous tonight, and you want to try out the Mango Rush, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I don't think you're going to be like, wow, why did I do that to myself?
Yeah.
You're not going to be like, oh my gosh, this is life-changing, but you're not going to be disappointed.
At the end of the day, it's still Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
There's still some Mountain Dew somewhere deep down in there. And Mountain Dew rarely is going to put a frown on your face.
Yeah. Well,
But-
maybe on mine, but not,
Yeah.
not on everyone.
It's RadioU.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.